Long Haochen went through the difficult trials of the divine throne of eternity and creation. He faced a power equal to 1,000,000 units of spiritual energy and managed to endure it. His reward was the strongest of all divine thrones, the divine throne of sealing. At that moment, the glow in the sky grew brighter and a voice rang out. Long Haochen, follow the path of destiny. Discover the true reason for the appearance of demons 6,000 years ago and prevent the world from falling into further destruction. The divine throne of eternity and creation was born out of the collapse of the divine plan, and it will be restored together with it. You are the chosen one. The trial is complete. Colorful rings of light swirled around Long Haochen's body, and in the next instant, he felt himself immersed in a special power. An infinite amount of chaos energy surrounded him, and it seemed to be changing because of his body. A familiar light attribute began to emerge and merged with this new force. A month had passed since Long Haochen began the trial. Kair and the others were waiting for him outside. When Long Haochen finally succeeded in obtaining the divine throne of eternity and creation, astonishing phenomena occurred. A terrible spiritual energy fluctuation burst forth. The sculpture representing the divine throne lit up brightly. A pillar of light shot into the sky, reaching higher and higher. Even from hundreds of kilometers away, this dazzling sight was clearly visible. Long Xingyu realized it must be related to the divine throne of eternity and creation. Could it be that Long Haochen succeeded? A giant 300-meter throne appeared, shining in 9 colors. Its majesty was so great that even the demon armies guarding the pass froze in place. They felt unbearable pressure. Even third-tier demon warriors collapsed to their knees. Compared to this light, all other divine thrones paled in comparison. A figure clad in divine armor held a shining golden sword and slowly descended onto this unmatched throne. It was as if a god had descended upon the human world. Yes, it was Long Haochen. Sitting on the throne, it felt as if all his previous achievements were insignificant. A true creative thought emerged in his heart, and the eternal power within his chest began to calm. His cultivation began to rise thanks to the divine throne of eternity and creation. Long Haochen's will and spiritual energy merged with the throne itself. Under the light of this divine artifact, all knights dropped to one knee. At the same time as Long Haochen, other divine thrones also began to shine. The throne of fear and sorrow, as well as the throne of wisdom and spirit. That's because Zhang Fangfang and Han Yu were also undergoing the trials of their own thrones. This was the greatest event in the 6,000 years since the foundation of the Night Temple. The original divine throne finally found its master, Long Haochen. He was acknowledged by the divine throne of eternity and creation, and was given the title of Divine Knight of Supremacy and Leadership on behalf of the Night Temple. From now on, he would be the head of the 6 divine knights and the supreme leader of the Night Temple. Meanwhile, Long Haochen's strength continued to grow. His spiritual energy constantly increased, while his light attribute blended with the eternal realm's power. The divine throne of eternity and creation fully demonstrated its nature as a super-divine artifact, and its overwhelming aura far surpassed that of all other thrones of sealing. As the divine throne of eternity and creation awakened, Long Haochen's body and mind was soaked in a strangely gentle power. His body seemed to have been nourished by the power of nature, the power of the living and power of stars in that short moment. Long Haochen was unclear how much his external spiritual energy had grown by, but this was the first time he found that it was not laborious when using the super-divine tool at its maximum strength. Meanwhile, his internal spiritual energy broke through consecutive realms. He was not sure about the exact number of spiritual energy, but once his spiritual energy rose to the limit, he discovered in surprise that his spiritual energy in his body was no longer golden, but a pure white color. Long Xingyu felt deep pride for his son. Kair rushed into Long Haochen's arms and held him tightly. Everyone was happy that he had succeeded. However, just after descending to the ground, Long Haochen spoke in a serious tone, how you could no longer suppress his own breakthrough. The two of them needed to break through the barrier of ranks together. Long Haochen and Hao Yu had to return to Hao Yu's original world immediately, or they would be too late. Hao Yu's power could destroy even the pillars, and his evolution was extremely important. After hearing this, everyone's expressions became serious. Their eyes were filled with urgency. Even Han Yu and Zhang Fangfang were no exception. Haochen was a creature from another plane. He was about to complete his evolution, likely for the last time. Long Haochen brought his companions with him to protect Haochen during the process. Long Xingyu hadn't expected his son to leave so soon after completing the Divine Throne's trial. He couldn't help but ask with some worry, "Can your body handle it?" Long Haochen replied that he was currently in his peak state. Moreover, he now possessed not only the Divine Sun and Moon Snail Shield, but also the Divine Throne of Eternity and Creation. Even if he faced Emperor Feng Xiu, he had enough confidence to challenge him. Additionally, he was still in the process of merging with the Divine Throne, and his cultivation continued to rise with each passing second. At his current rate of fusion, once complete, he would likely break through to the 4th rank of the 9th stage. More than 400,000 points of spiritual energy. When Long Haochen and his friends arrived near Haochen, they were mentally prepared, but still shocked by the scene before them. The entire mountain range was filled with undead, not only on the ground but even in the air. It was as if all space had been swallowed by the dead. This time, Haochen wasn't evolving inside a cave. He calmly sat atop a small hill, releasing a faint violet glow. Naturally, the appearance of Long Haochen's group attracted the attention of the undead. They were immediately attacked by these undead creatures. The message Haochen gave to Long Haochen was very simple. This time, the breakthrough would take a very long time. Having completed the trial of the Divine Throne of Eternity and Creation, Long Haochen was still in the process of merging with the throne. As a result, his right hand still gripped a golden sword glowing with an 8-colored halo. At that moment, he smiled at his companions and showed them his new strength. He also summoned Yiting, who had obtained a new body. And so, Long Haochen became a true divine knight of sealing. But the moment he received the Divine Throne of Eternity and Creation, he rushed to Haochen, knowing he had to support his partner through the next evolution. What will happen next? If you're curious, leave a like and we'll continue the story. By the way, Long Haochen will face Emperor Feng Xiu again soon. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and see you next time.